Welcome back to SaaS Mastery. Here we're going to talk about Module 4, which is SDLC, or Software Development Lifecycle. Some refer to it as Software Delivery Lifecycle. Pretty much the same thing. We'll talk about each of the components that make this up in just a second here. This module is a bit longer than our previous ones because, there are a lot more factors at play here. We're going to talk about, not only the overall SDLC overview, but we're also going to deep dive into the first phase, which is requirements. That's why you see a bunch of additional lessons here where our previous modules have been a bit shorter. So let's jump right in with what is SDLC, Software Development Lifecycle. Some people refer to it as Software Delivery Lifecycle. Same thing, just different tag associated with it. Essentially what it is a structured process that you go through when undertaking a software project. So the main phases of the SDLC are requirements, design, build, test, and deploy. We'll talk through what each of these mean as we go through the course. But just to give you, a quick overview of each stage. So requirements is really where you break down what features or components are needed in my application, or software. And, you're going to get very specific here. We're going to go through some exercises as we go, but essentially you want to be as specific as possible, and we'll walk through what happens or how things can get misinterpreted when you leave things more vague or generic. And it's interesting how some of the things that you think are very intuitive and that we all take for granted are key examples of how you can be vague without even realizing. Next, after that, we're going to talk through design, where we're going to walk through, how to create a good design document, how to effectively map out how the project is going to go. These are key foundation pieces that, can make or break your development phases. After that, we're going to go through build. This is where your software is actually going to be developed, and you'll start to see what it looks like for real instead of just renderings and mock-ups of it. After that, we'll go through testing, and we'll talk through why it's important to have things like automated tests that are built in there, why it makes sense to have user testing, and proper ways to test and to make sure that you have full peace of mind that any new features are not going to break the system. Lastly, we'll go through the deploy phase of how to effectively get your software into the hands of users, push it to whatever servers or applications you need to push it to, and so forth. So, in our next lesson, we're going to talk through building out the right team to be successful as we go through this, and then from there we'll jump into requirements.